Hello dear friends and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we will continue checking the games in challengers group of Tata Steel, Veikanze. Let's go. Yes, we are having fifth round and let's start. Yes, what a comeback by Nodirbek Yakuboev. Once again he shows and proves uh, his spirit after losing two games in a row against Nguyen Thai Daiwan and against Vaishali with the black pieces, he managed to beat Aydin Suleymanli. Uh, yes, Najdorf for third move bishop b5 check, knight d7. Another continuation is bishop d7, a4, knight f6, knight c3. Yes, and this is what Alexander Halifman is recommending in his course on Levitov Chess YouTube channel. I very much recommend not only Halifman's courses, also Levitov Chess YouTube channel. Bishop b7, short castle, e6, rook d1, with the ideas to go knight d2, knight c4, or bishop e3, knight d2, knight c4. Yes, seems like Aydin is well prepared. Yes, but Nodirbek didn't spend much time, only 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, bishop e7, bishop g3, attacking the pawn on d6, e5, queen e3, short castle, knight d2, typical idea, knight c4 or bishop c4. Yes, usually queen is not well placed on e3, because white very often wants to go knight c4, knight e3, or knight f1, knight e3. But from the other point of view, this queen on e3 protects pawn on e4 and no need to play f3. Bishop c4. Yes, most likely this was the first position Aydin was not aware of. Queen e2, rook c1, and already black doesn't have problems because white is not getting control over d5 and you don't have knight f1 ideas, and black is always having knight d4 jumps, so f3, knight h5. Yes, whenever you play f3 already, control over d5 square doesn't look something very, very important. Bishop g5, b5, and computer doesn't like h4, bishop f4, knight e2, takes b takes a. Yes, black has more than enough counterplay, and black is better. c4 and bishop g3, queen c5, knight h5. Of course, black is much better. Um, Computer doesn't like this a5, but players are already in some time trouble, time scramble, less than 5 minutes, 4 minutes for Nodirbek Yakuboev, and less than 7 minutes for Aydin Suleymanli. And here, slowly white wants to play knight d2, knight c1, knight d3, and rook c4, most likely knight a5 is the point to play, or maybe even rook takes d6. Yes, just knight c1 and then rook takes b4. Just knight c1. And bishop e4. Knight takes c4. Knight c3. Rook takes c4. So many pawns. 4 pawns for the piece, for the bishop. b3, and now rook b3 doesn't work. Bishop b3, rook a1. Rook takes h4. Rook d4. And g5. Computer doesn't like this. It would have been better to play a g5 with the rook on d4. I didn't tries, and he defends quite well, but 4 pawns. Computer says it's round equal position. And here king e3. Black is slowly pushing the pawns, activating the king and pushing another pawn, and pushing them again and again. Yes, knight h3, rook f1. Yes, very nice win by Nodirbek Yakuboev. Very important win for him to really come back uh, in the tournament standings and really fight for the top 3 places and especially for the qualifying spot. Uh, yes, very instructive sacrifice. Bishop takes e4. It was not winning. It was better, much better for black, but of course later on I didn't play well. We are having another game. Vaishali drew with the white pieces against Frederick Svanem. You see two. Yes, if I'm not mistaken here, c5 is the move. c5, c takes d, c takes d, knight takes d4, queen b6. At least I also had the opportunity to play this line against Arman Pashikan. I lost that game and against Sargis Sargisyan and even maybe some more games. So bishop d6. I'm not aware of this move, short castle c6. Yes, typical Catalan position. As I was watching one of Vish's interviews or short videos where he's commentating a world championship match between Magnus Carlsen and uh, Yanni Pomnishi, and he said that in 1920s uh, they started with in Catalonia. They started with G3, and now this opening uh, has the name. It comes from there in 1920s. First time this G3 idea was played in Catalonia. Knight bd7, knight bd2, h6, takes e4. So far, players are playing quite logical chess. Rook a d1, queen e2. Maybe black is already slightly better. So just to be sure. Computer likes not really playing e4, but e4 looks so natural on c5. Maybe some slight pressure for Frederick. Maybe black is having some slight pressure. And of course, he can take queen d3 and game will end in a draw, but he tries to keep the queens on board. Yes, h4, h5, and whenever you push e5, bishop d5 is coming. Yes, g4, even g takes bishop d5. Yes, game ended in a draw. No, I don't think any of the sides had anything. And we see Oro Faustino drew against Arthur Pitchpers. Yes, another move is c4 to play. g6, e4, bishop g7, and we transposed to Grunfeld. Yes, here short castle is the main move, of course. White is having bishop c6, b takes c, queen c2. Yes, now maybe bishop e3, bishop g4 takes rook c1. Some extra ideas for black. Yes, but this position anyway, black, for example, could start with short castle and bishop c6, b takes d, queen c2, c takes d, c takes d. Yes, white here could play bishop e3, for example, bishop g4 takes rook c1. White is getting some extra ideas, extra opportunities. That's why I don't see much point for black to start with c takes d, c takes d. Yes, this is well-known line. Bishop d4. If I'm not mistaken, here bishop c3 is the main move. Dubov played in 2024, beginning of the year, in tournament in China and won with the white pieces. And recently, I can say that Sindarov won against Areshenko. Bishop e3, a4, rook c1, bishop c5, h3. Long term compensation. Yes, rook d1 would have been the best. And now white is having something. Yes, rook b6. Wow, a takes b, bishop h6. Yes, but Faustino played very safe. Rook a1, traded the queens and took on a7 and allowed this trade of the rooks and rook d7, bishop d7, rook a8, king g7. Game ended in a draw. And we are having another result and very important win for Bok against 14 years old Chinese player who uh, won previously against Frederick Swana. So classical variation or rouser, a6, bishop d7, king b1, takes, bishop e7, f3, queen c7. Yes, some different moves are possible, including h4. Yes, I think a few times in this position I played this g4 move. Let's just see, maybe. Yes, I played against Lagarde Maxime. I also played against Drašković, Luka Drašković. So the main point of, because here if you go g4, uh, black is playing h5 anyway, and later on black is having ideas to go long castle. That's why you do this quiet move, and here you go g4. So already after h5, long castle ideas are not that good. So bishop d3, knight d2, c4 takes. Maybe this is what Anish played against. Hans played against Tribuk. a4. Yes, interesting decision. Bishop b5 or knight b5. Short castle knight b5. d5, rook c1. She plays so good. And now e5, queen e5, usually bishop f4 ideas are coming. And now let's say, even if I take queen a7 should be, yes, queen a7 takes rook c6, white is better, f5 is another opportunity. Yeah, she wanted to checkmate g6 and nothing is really working, a4. Yes, f5 would have been the best, b6. Queen b7 was stronger. And yes, rook c7, queen b6, I guess. And rook d7, you just played bishop c3. Yes, it's already lost. Rook d7, bishop c3, that's why bishop g6, h takes g, rook d7. Queen a5, computer doesn't like. And here bishop g6 was working. Some crazy tactical ideas, bishop g6, h takes g, f5. a3, wow, wow, amazing. A takes b. You don't have b3, a2, and then king a1, bishop c3, b takes a, bishop a3 or queen a3, most likely queen a3. And this here already black is winning, completely winning according to computers. But Bog has 1 minute, and Chinese player only 3 minutes. So this takes a takes b, and queen a6. Yes, knight and bishop together with queen will checkmate white's king. Yes, maybe rook c1, knight c5. So this knight c5, queen before knight d3, and d4. Queen a3 checkmate. Yes, very beautiful game by Bog. Nicely played game, and especially I like this. Uh, after b7, a3. It's only winning move. Very nice game. We are having another result. Erwin Lamy managed to win with the white pieces against Divya Deshmukh. Another Catalan and classical variation. Yes, here nowadays bishop e4, queen c1, and c6 is very popular. If I'm not mistaken, back in 2013, in London candidates, Levon Aronian with the black pieces against Magnus Carlsen played rook a7 move. At that time, even nowadays, maybe rook a7 is the most popular move, but I think bishop e4 is equalizing easier, and some other decent moves are also there. I think some knight c6 was played by Alireza. Rook a7, rook c1, bishop e4, queen b3, bishop d5, queen e3, knight g4, queen d3, bishop c4, takes. Positional exchange sacrifice for some compensation, and of course white is having more than compensation. Computer likes this for white. Let's see. Well, databases show Magnus's game. Not really, not really. Maybe 7 b4, stopping all c5 ideas, a3, and now b5, and now e4, h3, he takes the knight d4 is coming, bishop e3, stopping knight g4, that's why h3 was played, a4, takes, takes, queen d5, knight h4, knight f5, knight g7, yes, knight f5 would have been better, maybe rook d6, yes, this is completely lost, now rook f6 would have been the best, and knight c6. Yeah, the rook doesn't have any squares to go. If you take rook c6, bishop c6, I think endgame is lost. White will start pushing hg and f pawns. Otherwise, I'm just improving my position. And even at some point, knight takes a5 and knight back and pushing the pawn and pushing from the other side. Yes, we can easily say that out of the opening, Divya got very unpleasant position. Not, of course, lost, but quite unpleasant position. And slowly, Erwin Lamy played very nice game and won without giving much hopes and much chances to Divya. Uh, yes, nicely played game. Yes, another game, Gurel against Nguyen, and we do have Roy Lopez, Berlin, and d6. Instead of going bishop c5, d6, bishop e7, short castle, a6, and we can say that we transposed to uh, Roy Lopez main lines with early d3, bishop f8, h6, b5, bishop e6, a4, b4. Computer doesn't like a4. Why? Because of rook b8 or because of bishop b3, knight a5. Yes, but not much. Black is just equalizing. And d5. Knight takes e4. Computer doesn't like this knight e4. Knight e5 would have been maybe even better, but knight e4, yes, it's fine. c4, and now bishop c5. Bishop e3, bishop e3, rook e3, knight e5. Knight takes e5, c takes d, and knight f3, g takes f comes. Knight f2, king f2, knight g4, king f1, rook e1, even king e1 is possible. Yes. Doesn't matter queen d5 or queen f6, black is in some trouble. Yes, d5 or queen, bishop b3, I take queen b3, knight a5. Yes, d5, it takes the queen d5, and here just take knight d5, knight d4, rook e8, f4, knight c4, e5, b takes c, or just bishop c5. Yes, king e2 or king f2, bishop c5, king e2. Not very easy, I should say, I should admit. Knight f5, and now something like rook b1 or king f1, knight d6, rook d6, queen e8, queen e4, and now king f2, c6, very good move. Now queen b4, rook d5, rook a3. Already here black doesn't have any problems. Again, rook e6. Queen b2, queen c6 comes. And now black is even better. Rook g1, queen g1, king e2, rook e6, bishop e3, queen g2. And then queen takes b2. Black is slightly better. And maybe even much better now. Yes, takes h5. White cannot really create any attack or anything towards black's king side. White's king on c1 is very exposed, open. and the game position is around equal. And 20 minutes for Gurel and only 30 seconds for Nguyen Taiwan. Yeah, something like King F4 also was possible. Yes, Queen D5 and white is already better. Yes, I have a feeling that players really wanted to play till the end because in different occasions they could repeat the moves, but both both of them are really trying very hard, and obviously many inaccuracies, but not any big blunders or mistakes. And of course, white is better, but black should be able to make a draw. King g6, g5 was the best move, and according to computers, king f4 already wins the game. And this, yes, this is winning. Maybe not very easy, but bishop d4, rook f7, rook c5. White is completely winning, according to computers. But I feel it's not easy. Yeah, the rook c6, rook a6 would have been better. King h5, and now it allows f4, and Gurel doesn't play it. King e4 again, f4, g takes f, rook b5. And here just bishop f4, rook d5, bishop b5. So the best and only move is rook a4 to play. Bishop b5, bishop g3. Wow, wow. 119 moves. Yes, many inaccuracies, of course, few blunders by the both sides, and yes, it was much better out of the opening for Gurel, and especially when Nguyen took with the knight on e5 instead of playing bishop c5. And later on, always it was under White's control, and White had a huge advantage. But something went wrong. Gurel didn't play the best moves, and Nguyen equalized, and even started playing for something more than a draw. Uh, and Nguyen could force draw in different ways, but he kept playing and eventually started creating problems for himself. And it was, as we saw, completely lost for him. But luckily for him, in the end, Gurel didn't see the winning moves, didn't find them, and game ended in a draw. Yes, 119 moves. And we are having Nogerbeck against Bulmaga. A nightmare continues for Irina Bulmaga and King's Indian defense, e5, knight c6, knight e7, b4, a5, b takes a is the main move, knight h5, rook e1, a5, b takes a, rook takes a5, a4, f5, c takes f, knight g5, bishop d2, rook a3 are possible moves, f takes c, knight takes e4, knight f4, bishop f1, b6. Yeah, it seems like Nogerbek is aware of this position, or at least familiar. Rook fd2, knight fd2, with the ideas to go knight b3 and then a5. Or maybe just stopping this bishop g4 ideas. Yes, knight b3 doesn't work because of rook takes a4, g3, knight h5. So if I go knight h3, you just take and you go g4. Yes. Knight b1, knight is coming to c3 and later on b5. Yes, black doesn't have any problems. Knight f5, knight c3, queen f6, knight d4. For example, bishop b5, c takes b, rook f a8. Yes, Irina Bulmaga plays very good chess. Knight f5, she doesn't have any problems. Rook a8 would have been better move. She goes rook a6, h5, and slowly white is trying to improve the position. And g5, restricting this knight on g8. Yes, but very soon after protecting on c7, this knight can come to e7 and f5. Yes, white is focusing on a5 ideas. Rook f4 maybe would have been better move. Rook f8. Now rook f3. Takes. Queen d7. Queen g4. And just knight e7 or e4. Knight e7, rook e7, queen f4, king d3, e4. Irina had more than enough time to find and play this move. But she went queen f4, and after king e2, this is lost. And now knight e7 only, knight takes d6. And why previously knight d6 wasn't possible? Yes, because of e4 or knight f5, knight f5, g takes f. Yes, rook a7 was finishing the game, takes, rook a7. Yes, this is completely lost. Yes, and she resigned. Yeah, she played a very risky opening, King's Indian defense, but later on she was uh, finding and playing all the best moves, and she was keeping the tension, and she had her chances. And at some point in the end, she had different ideas, but she decided to go for this rook sacrifice trade on f3, and even found queen d7, queen g4, and she saw knight d7 idea, but just uh, played it not the best moment for her, and lost the game. So let's go to see the standings after 5 rounds, and we are having sole leader of the tournament, Dutch player Erwin Lamy. Two players, Bok Benjamin and Nguyen Tai Daiwan, are having 3.5 points out of 5. We are having 3 players, Lou, Nogerbek, and Vaishali, 3 points out of 5. 4 players are having 2.5 points out of 5. Nodirbek Yakuboev, Svane Frederick, Aydin Suleimanli, and Edis Gurel. 3 players are having 1.5 points. Arthur Pitchpers, Oro Faustino, and Divya Deshmukh. And Irina Bulmaga is having half point. Yes, Benjamin Bok had a very important win over Lu. Nguyen saved lost endgame, and throughout the game he was in huge trouble. Erwin won very convincingly against Divya. Nogerbek won, and now slowly is back because he lost first round game against Lu, and after that he managed to win 2 games. And Nodirbek Yakubov had important win over Aydin Soleimanli. Now he's slowly back. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, today on 23rd of January, players are having rest day, at least in challengers group. We can see. So next round will be played on 24th. Yes. Thank you very much, dear friends, dear viewers, for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave your comments, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you very much.